Hello, happy Wednesday, happy 420. Woohoo! Yeah, welcome in everyone. Thank you so much for joining this edition of Woman Crush Wednesday. Very excited to bring on our guest today, Ashley Ash. We were just speaking for a moment, and I let her know that I had seen her for the first time on Crypto Heartbeats interview with her, and was just really impressed with everything she's doing. And yeah, I mean, I also have been doing a lot of my own stuff, but I feel like I haven't really heard like what she's up to. So I was like, oh, what's Ashley doing right now? Like what's she doing in life? How can we connect? So I reached out and she is here. So let's, without further ado, drum roll please. I need sound effects. Ashley Ash, everyone.
Thank you for
Yay. Absolutely. Thank you for being here. I'm going to say what's up to the chat real quick. Flat Earth Underground, hello. Freddie Quotes, thanks for being here. Looking forward to your stream a little bit later. Jerry Oaksmith, this does not feel inclusive. You're silly. Crypto Compassion, oh, I like that. Women Rise Up, that's right. That's what we're doing. Let's go, fam. Good times. Chris Side Effects, good friend of mine from my hometown here. Hometown? Yeah, it's my hometown now. That's good enough. Oh, did he really? Look at this Crypto Heartbeat. Said to come hang out over here. That's very sweet of him. He's great.
love him.
Awesome stream. Sounds great. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. He's a DJ, so Chris knows what's up with the sound. Oh, got Tap coming through to say hello. Happy Hexaco Day. I like that. Is that did we just decide that? Where did Hexaco Day come from? I want to know more about that.
Let's just go with it.
I'm about it, yeah. Let's see. All hex working. Oh, Crypto Heartbeat is so sweet. That is so awesome. Let's see who else. Bearded Saint. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining us. Oh, ZZ Test Dev. Nikita. Sorry, I hope I'm trying to say hi to everyone.
No,
Excellent.
good. Fun.
So cool. So this is, as you know, y'all. Oh, Maddie Allen, and we're live. We are indeed. Awesome. So Dougie Peach. All right, I'll come back to the newcomers in a minute. But yeah, let's get to it. Let's learn a little bit more about Ashley Ash, what she's been up to. So my first question, as always, is how did you? And I kind of messed this up and maybe should have talked to you a little bit beforehand. But and I also apologize, I forgot this part of your story. How did you get into crypto, or like which did you find first? Were you into crypto first? And then you
Yeah,
found Hex? Okay,
yeah.
so yeah, tell us a little bit about your crypto story. What's your origination into this world?
My
How did
my
you end up here?
my origin story.
Yeah.
So I just like everybody else, for years like we all heard of Bitcoin and everything, and I kind of just let it ride out and be because I'm like I can't afford that. I didn't know I could just buy a piece until 2020, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? Let's get.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became addictive because you see how much better the gains are in crypto versus like stocks, bonds, everything else. So when you start seeing that, you're like, okay, I have to get into more. I need to start doing more research. So then I was getting into Ethereum, I was getting to other altcoins, and I would go on Twitter and I would type crypto and I would see what would come up, and I would see Hex come up a lot. And I'm like, what is this Hex? And you would see the people going scam, and then you would see all the people praising it. And so I decided to just dip my foot in it. I threw a little bit in and then kind of forgot about it because I got overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't know what staking or a T-share is or anything. And then months later, probably maybe 6 months later, I revisited my wallet and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is way better than anything else. So I took my money out of everything else and I put it into Hex. And then when the Pulse sacrifice happened, I did that, and then Pulse X, and I've been all in on everything Richard Heart ever since, because it's the best performing thing I've ever owned. And that's how I'm here. That's how I'm part of the Hex cult.
Very cool. Awesome. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. You might have got in before I did. I mean, I did also. I bought crypto and then forgot about it. I've told this a few times on this channel, but yeah, like I bought it, forgot about it, probably made a ton, lost a ton, had no idea, and then was reminded that I had this stuff, and at the same time was told about Hex. So while I had invested and I knew a little bit about it, this is my first entry into learning what like providing liquidity is, and farming, and the test net is the first time I'm touching any of that stuff. So I'm a little like, I'm just like, okay, I really need to know what these things mean, and how, like things like how to set a limit order. So once Pulse Chain launches, like I actually know what to do and I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm totally with you. Such an excellent way to like dip our foot in and learn. And like if we mess up, it's a test net. So I'm kind of in that thing too, where I'm like, okay, I want to do more. I want to be able to not just hold or stake. I want to see everything else that's available to us. So I'm in the
Yes.
same boat.
Yes, without getting wrecked.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. So the next question, I believe, is for anyone who may be new to crypto who's watching this. I'm hoping later on down the line that this show kind of gets picked up by women who might wonder, what is crypto? Oh, there's women in crypto. Like, what are we talking about here? So, and of course, anyone and everyone who's into crypto, we want to educate and inspire and inform them. So what would you say is your number one piece of advice or number one thing that you would tell someone who's just starting to learn, like maybe just doesn't even know what the blockchain is, but maybe they've heard of Bitcoin?
I would say, and maybe it sounds a little reckless, but my thing is just do it. Just jump in. Don't invest what you're not prepared to lose. See, I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of extreme. I'm like, I'm gonna throw everything I have into it, and whatever happens, happens. Because I'm like, you know what? If I started with nothing and I end with it, it is what it is. So because it is highly volatile, you got to be ready to be willing to lose everything at the worst
Mm-hmm.
case. But then, high risk is high reward. So you could also be, very highly rewarded in it. So I guess to sum it up, just do it. Just jump in, try it, you know, and and just don't be afraid to. Sorry, I'm repeating myself because I'm forgetting.
No.
I'm forgetting as I'm speaking. But yeah, don't invest what you can't lose. So if you don't want to lose your house,
Mm-hmm.
don't invest your house. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is a great way to put it, and I think great advice. I definitely started out with that mentality of, oh, okay, I'm willing to risk this much. Like I've got a little bit to kind of, whatever happens with this happens. Then it's been hard to kind of rein that in, because we just have so much. I don't know if hopium is the right word, because Hex has proven itself,
Mhm.
right? Like we've seen the math works, we've seen that the code is immutable. So, it's now I'm just like, okay, I've got to make sure that I'm still saving, but at the same time, why am I not saving through Hex, right? Like why not reward myself that way and get them shares?
Yeah, because I think the thing is like we know the potential. And so when we know how much potential it has, you kind of feel guilty not investing in it, you know?
Right.
Yeah, because it's like,
Absolutely.
okay, having this thousand in the bank, especially under inflation, we're just losing money. So yeah, and the crypto is volatile, but knowing the potential that Hex has in a few years, let's say if we just stake that, I feel like there's always a guilt there with it, guilt for not investing more.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep. Very cool. I'm gonna say hi to a few more people. Oh, Crypto Heartbeat came on in. Hello. Hello, Inviting Freedom. ZZ Tesco. Can't remember if I said hi, but hi again. Mixed Mix. R23. Excellent. And just double check on this for me, y'all. Does Ashley sound better? I fixed, you were a little crackly at first, but I fixed something on the StreamYard end. So I think, okay, sounds okay. Okay. Thanks, Thomas Turner, and welcome. All right. And Chris, I'll do that later. I have to do it through YouTube. He wants to be a mod. I just learned how to do it. So as soon as I get off this stream and get back to that, I'll definitely make you a mod. I appreciate it. Sweet. So, oh yeah. So this is the next part is what I'm really interested in is tell us about your content. What have you been up to? What are you doing now? I've seen you pretty active on, I think, was it Instagram? You have a lot of like, or is it TikTok? You've got these really like
TikTok, yeah.
cute, yeah. And I love that because I'm not a TikTok person and I don't intend on getting into it. It's just, that's not my wheelhouse. Like I love Twitter. I'm enjoying YouTube and I think it's a great tool, but it's not something that I'm going to intend to use because I got other things going on. So yeah, tell us about what you're up to.
Oh, so the TikTok was like kind of, I'm just trying to, I guess, experiment and see what works because I put out two videos that got a lot of views. So I'm like, okay, I want to keep rolling with this. But I have to say, TikTok is hard because I feel like I'm
Mm.
way better like with the two-way thing. When I have to talk to a camera and it's just me, I can't keep my focus. It's tough, but it's also like a cool way when you just have like this little thought bubble and you just want to drop it out there. Like I was thinking about the Russian Revolution and the famine that happened and how famines repeat through history. And it was a cool way to just kind of drop it on there and talk about it and then see what other people have to say about it. Not always nice things. That's the thing with TikTok. People are nastier on there. So that's been
Wow, that's
interesting.
surprising.
Yeah, yeah. So people, especially if they know that you like Hex or Pulse Chain, that you're into that, then automatically you get scammer, you're a shiller, you're paid, how much they paying you. So
No.
I'm like, you know what? If you find something good that you like, why, I'm like, why not share for free and help everybody else out? But people don't
Exactly.
get that on TikTok. Yeah, they
Yeah.
wrap their head around that. So I've kind of been playing around with that on TikTok. And then YouTube, I guess, still definitely trying to get my footing over there. So I just did my first interview with Bobby Hexelrod, which was a lot of fun and definitely a learning experience for me. And I guess I just want to stick with that format, but also
Mm.
in some of my own interests, like have a separate paranormal show. Um,
Ooh, tell
and
please, dude, tell me about that.
so I want to do it as a live stream where people, just kind of jump in and like tell us your paranormal stories or your thoughts on this.
Nice.
And it was something I had been meaning to do for a while. Like I had always kind of dreamed of doing that, in a podcast format. And then Crypto Heartbeat had me on his Saturday Night Live show one time when we were talking about paranormal, and it kind of hit me. I'm like, wait, forget the podcast idea. Maybe this is the better format, because people can just kind of jump in and out and tell their stories, and we could kind of discuss our theories and everything. So, I mean, it's separate. It's separate from the crypto world. That's my own
Hmm.
interest, but because so many people in Hex are into that, like, cool, we'll get the community involved and do that. So that I hope to do too. I just have to like figure out the whole streaming thing. It's a little scary.
Hmm. Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah.
props for you're rolling with that and going forward with that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it is a little nerve-wracking at first, for sure. And then I mean, it was interesting. I was listening to the Crypto Heartbeat and the Whales Only interview earlier, and Whales mentioned something about, most of us not being social butterflies. And I was like, oh, I'm the one. I'm the social butterfly. Because I love it. I love people. I love talking. I am super extrovert. So it's, like I think that it's easier for me, maybe just because that's my personality and like I'm used to it. And like if I goof up, like I'm just whatever, like it's
Yeah.
fine, let's keep going. Like I have in previous streams, I was just telling you, like, I just tried to do this song thing and that didn't work at all and had to figure it out later. But yeah, for anyone who is interested or is, maybe thinking about it, take it from us here. Like, we're right there with you. Like, and who better to reach out to? Like, I mean, we're all so, I feel like there hasn't been anyone that I've approached who's been like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have time for you, or like, like go ask someone else. No one has ever said that to me. So yeah, please create content, reach out to us if you have questions. I just saw a really great small clip from Fashion Coder. She showed how to do your phone, like how to add your mobile phone to your streams, because she does that a lot in her little clips and stuff. And it's just little things like that. It's so valuable to the community because, yeah, anyone else who's trying to start out, that's something little that they may need to know. So
Yeah, and it's so cool because, like you said, everybody's so nice and supportive. Like, I like when I said I get negative stuff on TikTok, but everywhere else is amazing. Everybody on Twitter is amazing. Everybody in Hacks on YouTube is awesome. So
mhm.
my mind is so blown. I'm like, how could a community be so nice that's on the internet? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And doing all of this out our own, like out of love. Like we're not, none of us are getting paid. I mean, like,
Yeah.
so yeah, we get people get super chats and things like that. But you hear most of them like, yeah, man, please don't, because YouTube takes 40% of that. And,
Oh wow.
yeah. So, people have Patreons and things like that. But at the same time, it's just none of us expected it. I don't think,
Mhm.
you know, and none of us are expecting it or asking for it. It's just we love what all of this is, and we want you to know too.
Definitely.
So super cool. Is there anything else that I guess the interviewing thing and the supernatural, those are like your two kind of big projects you're kind of working on
Yeah,
right now?
that's the focus. And I guess, you know what? Kind of like flexible, like wherever things go or whatever, ideas pop up. I'm like, all right, I'm willing to roll with it and see where things go.
Perfect. Super
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, and that, just to touch on that real quick, that totally happened with me because I was not intending to stream. I just started reading Sci-Vive because I wanted an audio version that didn't sound like a robot. I was like, oh, maybe someone else will enjoy this. Who knew? Thousands of people would be
Yeah.
actually stoked on
Blown
it.
up. Yeah.
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 So, I say that I feel like I cheated a little because I started getting a lot of followers because of Sci-Vive. And then I was like, maybe people might kind of like me doing a stream here and there. So it's been really nice just doing that and being also uplifted in that way. Like, hey, Sci-Vive's great, but yeah, we also love the content that you're doing. So, and that's why I do this show, because I felt so much love from this community. I just want to pay that forward and uplift, especially women, because people. I was watching, so there's like a percent of women that exist in this community, and we are here and we need to be heard. So hello. All right. So speaking of the positivity and being heard, my next question that I'd like to throw out is, what is a maybe a mantra, a song, a saying, a positive quote, something that you kind of every now and then like you lean into this and you're like, oh, this is something that just like helps me either to keep going or inspires me on a day-to-day basis.
I have two that comes to mind. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
So my favorite band is Garbage, and they have that song. Yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing live. By the way, just I have to plug that.
Are they still touring?
Oh yeah, they have a
Oh,
tour
that's
going.
so badass.
Uh,
Wow.
gosh, they've been like touring every year, so of course I'm always there.
Nice. I'll have to check them out. I loved them years ago,
Oh,
but I didn't realize that they're still out there doing shit.
oh, still doing it and making stuff just as good as they did back then. So,
Nice.
so highly recommend them to everyone who's listening. And they have a song on one of their newer albums. So when they went off hiatus and came back on in 2012, they had a song on their album called "Man on a Wire," and there's this lyric in it, and it goes, "I sat myself down and shot my fear in the face."
Mm.
And I feel like that's just applicable to so many things in life because, fear is what holds us back. Isn't there a quote from Dune or something? Fear is the mind killer. Like it's
That sounds like. Mhm.
destructive. Yeah, I've never read Dune, but I actually have it pinned because I thought it was such an amazing quote. And it holds us back from so much. And I think that also applies to crypto because, crypto has the potential to change your life, but so many people are afraid to go for it you know so I think a lot of us, that's what we did. We just sat ourselves down, shot that fear in the face and just went all in and said, you know what, we're going to try to change our lives, and whatever happens happens. So I love that. It's one of my favorite quotes, just all around in all aspects of life. And um and then when I was in like eighth grade and you had to like choose a quote for the eighth grade yearbook, I couldn't figure one out. And so my mom found a quote for me and she's like, look at this one. This is a nice one. And it was, every mighty oak was once a nut that stood its ground. And it always stuck
Mm.
with me, just being you and standing your ground. And just the type of person that makes you and how that just reaches into all parts of your life, especially. Oh, well, I mean, I can find so many applications. Like we're living in such a polarized society right now, and
Yep.
more important than ever to stand our ground on what we believe in. Whichever side we may be on. And then even in Hex, with everybody coming at us and calling us scammers and
Yeah.
shillers and everything, we're standing our ground, and because we believe in the potential and that we're going to be rewarded through that someday. So those are my two big ones.
That's great. I especially love the one about the nut because
Mhm.
I used to farm and I've done a lot of gardening and just outdoor stuff, and it always amazes me the resilience of a seed,
Mhm.
because you can put that seed. I've seen, in fact, just the other day I was on a walk and I saw a blue bonnet growing out of like dust that had settled on the ground. Like it was concrete, maybe a little bit of dust and a little bit of like leaf foliage. I can never say that word right. Foliage. And then the bloom on it, just this beautiful flower coming straight out of the concrete. And it's just like, man, like things want to grow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that a lot.
It also kind of comes back to the quote, grow where you're planted. That bluebonnet might not have been given the best situation, but it grew.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, well, you did speak a little bit about the paranormal stuff, but what else are you involved with outside of the crypto space? What do you do kind of on the daily, or, what is hobbies, passions, anything you want to talk about that's not crypto related?
Oh, well, I guess I'm like kind of all over the place in terms of things I like to do. But it's funny because I remember one time somebody, had asked me like, oh, what are your hobbies? And I'm like, do I have hobbies? That freaked me out because really like I love to act, and a lot of things revolve around that, like so I said like, oh, I love to act, but he's like, no, but that's what you want as a career. What is your hobby? What do you read? I'm like, I read scripts and I read plays. And
Nice.
he's like, okay, well, anything else outside of that? So I feel like a lot of my life is because I don't know, that's my passion, that's my love. It kind of revolves around that because I like to act. I like to read plays and picture them in my head. I love to watch TV shows and film. I lean more toward TV shows. That's my favorite medium. So just, I guess right now, that's where a lot of my interest is. And I also feel like just the way the world's been these past 2 years, and maybe it's just where I live in the Northeast, where everything is kind of really shifted and shut down. It kind of, I don't know, not that it's isolated, but just kind of the shift in society makes you really focus on what you like. So I think that's also kind of really, made me hone in and kind of discard some, lesser interests and everything. So not to sound boring in one side, but I also like especially summer's my favorite season. So I like doing whatever, anywhere, like here's an adventure, let's do this. So I'm kind of all over the place.
Awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So do you do more theater acting or?
Oh, so so kind of a funny situation. So I've been trained in all three: TV, film, and theater.
I remember you saying that now. Yeah.
And actually maybe and voiceover and commercials. So I kind of I tried to run the gamut in my training, and I've done some like web series and short films and independent stuff. I did a lot of that earlier on, and so I was kind of in this situation where I kind of went on hiatus from doing stuff for a while just to focus on training completely, because I was in a family situation where I was helping take care of some family. So I said, okay, if I can't go out and do any of that, let me at least train. So I've spent the past while like really intensely focused on training, which is why my resume might look a little weird, but now I'm finally back into it. And so TV is my love. I love that medium. I love that style. So that's kind of my focus at the moment, and also voiceover. So that's part of why I'm so excited about your the audio book that you're doing. I recently took a class in voiceover and had no idea I would love it so much. So my current focus that I'm working on, trying to get a reel together for that.
Fun.
Yeah, so it's really, really fun medium.
Yeah, I also love acting. I haven't really done any I've done a lot of background and commercial work.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think my love, I think where I would really thrive and really love to be is in musical theater.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of a dream of mine since I was a little girl. I don't know, it's just kind of never been my focus. Also training, like you're saying, that's huge. Taking those classes, that's where you get in, I think, for the most part, is like when you start training and you start taking these classes, the teachers know people. Oftentimes there's someone who's been in the industry for a long time, and they're gonna connect you with people, or they're gonna be like, oh, hey, you might be great for this role, or things like that. So I'm lazy. That's why I don't, I haven't really, gotten more parts or things, is because I just haven't put the work in. When you put the work in, that's when you get the roles. People think it's a certain look or it's a certain this or that. It's not. It's work, right? Like
yeah, definitely. Yeah. And you're right, so many connections do come through training, but I think also the interesting thing about like today is like there's some, because of like YouTube and TikTok, there's so many people like who don't take the craft that seriously, who think they could become like actors, you know.
Hmm.
And so who try to go for it, and you know, with you know the minimal training or knowledge of it. So when like casting sees that you have an extensive training background, or even that you have the resume, like you said you might not have a big training background, but you have a resume, you know,
Hmm.
you have that under your belt, you know, so that those two things are already going to set you ahead of the game. And it's interesting that, yeah, that you say musical theater, because I never liked musical theater, can never wrap my head around it, never wanted to be anywhere around it. Like it just freaked me out, and I am now finally starting to like understand and appreciate it. And wow, it's amazing, it's intense. I'm like, that's a workout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yep. Singing and dancing and moving and talking, all the things.
I'm blown away, and I appreciate it so much more now, especially like Hannah Waddingham. I've seen some of her like her, you know, her West End stuff, and I am like, okay, yeah, I get it now. I understand. Yeah, I can't sing, but if I could, I'm like, it looks like fun.
Absolutely. How fun. Well,
Yeah.
that's exciting. I'm stoked to also come onto your stream a little bit at some point, and we can
Yes,
chat more about all that stuff.
definitely.
Very cool. Well, my next question is, oh, and this is also on the thumbnail, and I believe I put your link tree or some more links in the description of this video. But where can we find you? Go ahead and shill all your things.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, thank you, first of all, for putting the links. And I should have this memorized, but I always freak out when anybody asks me this because I could never remember. Because I've had Twitter since '09. I just recently changed my name on Twitter to make me easier to find. But I'm pretty sure it's Ashley is Ash _ on Twitter. I'm pulling it up now. Yes, I got it right. My YouTube is Ashley Ash Now. Um, yeah, because my name was taken. Okay, I think Ashley is Ash3. I think is TikTok. You know what?
TikTok,
Best thing
yeah.
is to look at the links that SJ posted. So thank
Right
you so
down
much
there.
for doing that. And I will try to have the memory. It's funny, you know, like, you know, we can memorize these huge scripts and everything, but sometimes you ever have that where the little thing,
Yeah.
just like, Ashley, I don't know how you function. You can do that, but you can't do anything else.
Nice.
So
Well,
thank
I do have one other, or well, two kind of questions at the end here.
you.
Firstly, on the paranormal
Mhm.
stuff, are you creating another YouTube channel for that? Does that already exist? How do I find that? Because I am super interested in
Well,
learning
I'm
more about that.
channel. So I'm just going to keep everything just for the you know, just make everything easier to find just on Ashley Ash Now. So that'll
Okay.
just be under a different name. So I'm calling my interview show Adapt or Get Wrecked, and I'm going to call the paranormal stream High Strangeness.
Ooh, I like
So
it.
I think that was, what was it, Alan J. Hynek's term, you know, for all the weird things that happen when a UFO appears. So I'm like, okay,
Nice.
yeah. So
Clever.
there,
I
yeah.
definitely know a good handful of people who will be super intrigued and want to tune in on that for sure as well. And then my last bonus question
Mhm.
is what do you love the most about Richard Hart or Sci-Vibe? Have you read Sci-Vibe?
I have not read Sci-Vibe yet, but like because of what you're doing, it's actually like really made me want to read it. So I want to listen to the audiobook and I want to read it. I want to do both. So which I
Yeah.
think is the amazing thing that you're doing. Like I think we're all kind of aware of it, but now you've made us like even more aware, and you've made the new people like aware that this book is here, you know. So I think you're bringing so much, yeah, excitement and awareness to it. So I have not read Sci-Vibe, but Richard Hart, you know what? I just like his no nonsense approach, that he just speaks his mind. He goes for it. He doesn't care, because what does he have to prove? He doesn't have, you know, because all his work just speaks for its, you know, for itself. And so I love that about him. I love his his just honesty about things too, like just calling people out and calling things as they are. So I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate that you're not like looking at him and wondering, is he really on our side? You know, what's he doing? What's he plotting? Like Elon Musk. I feel that way about Elon Musk. Um,
Yeah.
those of you that love him, but he makes me wonder. Like I think
Yeah.
he could do some really good things, but I always go, I don't feel that way about Richard Hart. So that's,
Same.
yeah, I feel like he's trustworthy. So that's where I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think, I don't know if he'll ever watch these things, but I just feel like it's like one of those extra little pieces of information or knowledge that's important, because
Mhm.
I definitely had a terrible view of him when I first came into this space. I was just like, because it was around the time he started doing all the unboxing videos. And I was just like, what? I was just really turned off. I was like, man, I don't care about this guy. I don't want to,
Yeah.
mess with him. Hex is cool, but
Mhm.
whatever. And eventually I got into Sci-Vive, and then I learned more about him. I was just like, oh my goodness. And I was really pleasantly surprised by Sci-Vive. I kind of like, because I saw the way he was with the unboxing videos and things, I was assuming that there was going to be a lot of really misogynistic and like not nice things,
Mhm.
but it's very well done. I mean, he really, like, he even kind of calls out the guys that do that, like the pickup artists kind of guys, like, and like talks about how that's not really the best thing, and like, like it's just, yeah, there's
Uh,
more good than
yeah.
than I expected, especially when it comes to, women and gender roles and things like that. That was a really big, like, oh, what is he gonna say about this? I was a little concerned, but
Mhm.
there was nothing in there that made me want to stop reading it or supporting it. So
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely when you get a chance.
And apparently it must be amazing if if you're willing to do that, the whole audiobook of it, because it's abridged. You're doing the abridging, right? So
Yeah, I'm doing the
like,
abridging because,
amazing. A lot, because it's
yeah.
a lot of work.
Yeah, it was it, and I kind of sped through the end of it because I, like, halfway through this book I was like, I also love to edit. I
Mhm.
did newspaper and yearbook all throughout, like, junior high, high school, college. I was on those teams for years, so I just naturally do it. In fact, Richard had something on his YouTube channel, in the description, where he was speaking in the first person the entire time except for one sentence. I'm like, excuse me, sir, you may want to correct this. Because I just it's natural
Mhm.
for me. So I'm going to start at the beginning and edit it for publishing,
Mhm.
because I think it's definitely a book worthy of being published, and I think that would also help a lot of that information get out there in other people's hands. And it's actually been transcribed into Spanish. If you go to the, t.me/scivive, and you look at the files, it's pinned in English, like Richard has a pin. But if you look at the files in that Telegram, there is a Spanish version, and someone just recently linked a French version
Oh,
as
nice.
well. So yeah, it's definitely something that I'm about it. Like, and I feel like it's important work, because I don't want all these people to think Richard is a scammer. Like, I mean, people are going to think what they're going to think, right? But at the very least, if I can help bring to light a lot of the reasons that he's really looking out for us, and
Mhm.
he's really the person who's keeping so many people from getting scammed, I'm just like,
Mhm.
let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and so true. Like, who else is like, what other crypto creator is like, here, guys, watch out, be careful, make sure, like nobody else is.
Yeah.
Or even the thing of like, we're gonna honor the incorrect, sacrifices of
Yeah.
people. Like, he doesn't have to do that.
No.
But and I'm sure that's a big pain, like in the butt to do that. But he's like, sure. Well, I was totally blown away when I saw that. I'm like, wow. Oh yeah, he's a scammer, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even just the little things like the Chrome updates, security updates. He's
Mhm.
so on top of it. I'm like, sweet, it's great. Very cool. Well, do you have any closing statements? Anything else you want to add, or do you have any streams coming up? Anything that's like in the next week or two we can be looking out for?
You know what? It's terrible, and I'm sure it's not good in the streaming space to do this, but I'm kind of like a fly by the seat of my pants person.
Ah,
So I guess, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I definitely want to ramp it up and do more. So I'm just not sure the dates yet. Oh, but I am on next Tuesday night. I will be on. Wait, let me look up the name of the stream. Forgive me, my brain doesn't always quite work that well to remember things.
no worries.
T Rob, he has. Yeah, I'm gonna be on his stream. So excited
Okay.
about that. Yeah, on the Discord Syndicate.
Oh,
Dis-
sweet.
Discord
Yeah,
Syndicate.
Discourse Syndicate. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
big one. You get a
yeah.
lot
So,
of views for that. And if you
uh,
haven't already, go subscribe and like to all the channels. Yeah, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all the things, y'all.
Thank you.
Yay! You are super welcome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This segment of my streaming, I don't do a lot of interaction with the chat. Like I may say what's up in the beginning. But since this is kind of like my Q&A thing, just in case people, because you know, some people are like, why don't you interact with the chat? Sunday, Sci-Vive Sunday, I'm all about it. Sunday is a big discussion day. So if you guys want to talk Sci-Vive, come check that out. I'm going to have Thothschild will be my guest this Sunday. So yeah, check it out, y'all. Thanks again, Ashley. And thank you everyone again for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.